Once upon a time, in the quaint town of Whiskerwood, lived a rather peculiar cat named Sir Whiskers, though he didn't go by that name. Oh no. He preferred the much grander, much more mysterious moniker of Captain Whiskers, because as far as he was concerned, he was destined for greatness. He wasn't just a regular tabby. No, he was a feline hero, sworn to protect his household from evil. Evil, however, was notoriously difficult to find in a suburban neighborhood, so Captain Whiskers spent most of his days improvising missions. It all started one Monday morning when Captain Whiskers noticed something troubling. The birds outside the kitchen window weren't singing. They were staring at him, not just casually, intently. He knew this was no ordinary behavior. This could only mean one thing. The birds had formed a secret alliance. And that meant trouble. He had to act fast. Wearing his favorite cape, a red towel that he had carefully shredded over the course of several months, Captain Whiskers leapt into action. He strutted across the living room with the precision of a cat who had no idea he was about to knock over a vase. Just as he reached the front door, his sidekick, Mr. Fluffybottom, a very fluffy and extremely nonchalant hamster, rolled by in his hamster ball, oblivious to the gravity of the situation. "Captain," Mr. Fluffybottom asked, rolling in circles. "Today we face the greatest threat to our home, my furry companion," Captain Whiskers declared dramatically. "The birds outside have joined forces with the squirrels. They plan to take over the backyard. I'm more concerned with getting more snacks." Ignoring the comment, Captain Whiskers assumed his superhero stance. With a loud meow, he bolted outside into the yard. He immediately crouched behind the rose bush ready to sneak attack, only to accidentally knock over the flower pot with his back foot. "Damn it, oops, mission failure," he muttered, eyes darting around to make sure no one had witnessed his disgraceful entrance. The birds continued to stare from the fence, and the squirrels, well, they were probably plotting their next mischievous move, but they weren't interested in Captain Whiskers at all. They were too busy burying nuts. So what was our brave hero to do, he had to think. If he couldn't sneak up on them, he would need to distract them. Captain Whiskers, he noticed that the neighbor's dog, Fido the Menace, was tied up by the tree near the fence. Captain Whiskers had a very special relationship with Fido. It involved a lot of barking, scratching, and occasional friendly growling. But today, Captain Whiskers needed Fido to play his part. "Fido! Fido! Over here, you big slobbering furball!" Captain Whiskers shouted, his little paw waving. The dog barked and scrambled to get closer, but the leash was too short. "Come on, Fido, the fate of the backyard depends on you." Fido, sensing something important was happening, tried to bark louder, but Captain Whiskers had already turned back to the birds. "Squirrel allies, prepare for my ultimate distraction technique." He pulled out his secret weapon, the laser pointer. With a flick of his paw, the red dot appeared on the ground, darting around like a tiny firefly on caffeine. Immediately, the birds turned to look at the rapidly moving dot with confused expressions. Too late, Fido dove into the bush, and suddenly the whole thing collapsed. The birds flew off in a panic, the squirrels scattered, and the neighborhood was thrown into chaos. He jumped onto the picnic table and raised his paw into the air in a victorious pose. Mission complete. He looked at Mr. Fluffybottom, who had been nibbling on a treat through